Hi, my name is Deep Chabria. I am a comedian and copywriter at BBH India. It's an advertising agency. I've been a comedian for around 8 years now, and I've been doing advertising for roughly the same. I just realized there's a lot of pressure to be really inspiring. Very inspiring you have to be when you have to give a TED talk. You have to sound super wise, and you have to sound like you've got everything sorted. It's like on the other side of the things, like it's like you've solved something, you got over something, and now you're on the other side. And I guess that's why you're watching this talk, right? To get inspired, to go like, how do I get to the other side? It's really ironic that all my life I wanted to give a TED talk. Anything bad happened to me in life, I used to think that this is going to go in my TED talk. Like I had a breakup, I'm crying, I'm like, this will sound great in my TED talk, right? Anything bad happened, I fell down, broke a bone, I'm like, even better. But when I actually got the call to give this TED talk, I went down and I started looking at my experiences, and I was just like, dude, am I wise enough? Am I experienced enough? Do I know enough things to give this talk? I actually started comparing my miseries. I'm like, dude, am I miserable enough to sound good? Because a lot of other people on TED, right, have like some really great inspiring stories, and like they're survivors and things like that. I'm like, is my misery good enough? Right? Which is so funny that why would I start comparing my misery to other people? That's what I realized. I said, everyone's going to inspire you here. And, somebody needs to keep it real. Somebody needs to tell you that, this is not how life is going to be. Because every other talk on TED is going to be about, finding the key to happiness, the key to something else, like Zen and all of these. They're all just giving you keys. So I just thought I'll keep it really real. Okay. And that's why this talk is named Watch If You Want to Get Demotivated. Right? Because I feel like it's high time TED Talks have really inspired people. I think it's time they demotivate you and give you the reality. So I'm going to give you a bunch of things, a bunch of realities that I feel like you need to know, or you probably already know, but I think this is what it is, right? And as long as you get to know it, it's great. I think to start with, you need to know that life isn't worth it. Okay, it's really not worth it. Like, it's really overhyped. That is first. The second is you will fail. No, you will. Like, even if you think you won't, you will. You might have just like won something before watching this video, but you will fail, right? So just take solace in that, okay? Then is you will be anxious. You will be so anxious, dude. It's going to be really fun. Okay? You will be very anxious. You will cry a lot, right? You're really going to be soaked in tears, and that's great. It's going to be fun. You'll be very, very scared as a person. Like, you'll be so frightened. It'll be fun to watch. And more than anything, I think you need to know that you will die alone. Yeah, as long as you know that life's good, right? So you have two options. You either actually continue watching this video, or you can just stop now. Now that you know that I've spent these few minutes telling you that this is what your life is going to be. Or I'm thinking we can talk a little more. Because I just want to share a quote with you that I think I heard from somewhere, and I don't know who said it, right? I think that's how quotes work. Like, Aristotle says it, then somebody's like, no, Plato said it, then eventually it's anonymous said it. But basically the point is that I heard that everything that comes in a sentence before the word but is basically bullshit. And I feel like it also applies to every sentence I've said till now, right? And I'll explain what I mean. Like, say for example, life isn't worth it. Right? It's really not, right? And I'll tell you why. It's because by the time you learn all the lessons, it's time to die. It is. Think about it. Like, when you're at 25, right? You're just like, yeah, I had a breakup. Like, now I know what love is. I know what heartbreak is. Lesson learned. When do we start, right? Then you're 40. You're like, no, I should have worked for my health. No. Lesson learned. Let's start. When you're 60, you're like, nah, I shouldn't have had those kids, right? Like, they didn't turn out good. So when do we start? Never. You don't start ever, right? Life is only prelims, no boards, right? So life isn't worth it. But I feel like you can find something to make it worth, right? Make it worth, not make it completely worth it. And what I mean by that is just find something you like doing, right? And I feel like we put a lot of pressure in telling people that you have to find and do something in life, right? And I've been one of those people. I grew up in a business family. Everything in my house has been return on investment. Like, my parents have told me that I have to earn since I was 2, right? So I do comedy as return on investment, friends as return on investment. But now I do, like, now I'm on stage. I tell ISIS jokes, right, for a living. I write ads. You should see the stuff I write. Right? And that makes me happy. It's really frivolous. It's really stupid, but it makes me happy. I color. Right? I feel like, why does, just why this grown-up person sits and colors on the weekends? I just love it. So I do it. It's what makes it worth more than anything else. So yeah, life isn't worth it, by the way, but you can find something to make it worth. Don't be inspired though. I'm just saying. Then the other thing is, you will fail, right? You will fail so much, man, but it won't be final. Right? I think that's the only thing I've learned from being on stage at any night that I've bombed. And honestly, I've had some really horrible nights on stage, in person, off stage, as like just everywhere in life. Is that I've failed a lot. I think everyone has, and I don't think you can discredit anyone's failure at whatever level, right? But I just feel like it's not been final. Like, I'm still here, you're still here. Think about the worst night you had, the worst day you had. It's been okay. Okay, you've moved on. The thing is, we need to understand is that when you hear the word no or something doesn't work out, no means next. And it works in many ways. Like, a relationship didn't work out. Okay, what's next? You didn't get that project. Cool, what's next? You didn't get a promotion. Cool, what's next? I think that's why they say life moves on, right? It's because we are made up of so many no's. Like, think about actually the time you have won. If you look back, you've won so less and you've lost so much, and that should, like, in just that much should be enough to tell us that it's not going to work out, and it's fine, right? Because honestly, think about if you had the chance to actually make every call that you wanted right. Like, I listen to this guy a lot on the internet. I really look up to him. His name is Pastor Stephen Furtick, and he said this very interesting thing. He said that thank God that everything you wanted in your life wasn't given to you. Because I'm saying, just look at how bad we are at decision making. You take 40 minutes on Zomato, you take an hour on Netflix just to pick what you want. Imagine somebody giving you all that power, right? So failure is good, failure is great, right? Things that didn't work out later, or something else happens. It's not final. Your best days won't, your worst days won't be, right? The other thing is, you will be anxious. Dude, anxiety is beautiful, and you start all vibrating. And what I really love about anxiety is that it's not like it's not mild anxiety. Like, it's 0 to 100. That's why it's an attack. Like, it's an anxiety attack. I love it's so beautiful, right? But I feel like the thing about anxiety is that anxiety is the best opportunity to actually accept something, right? Like, you watch something, you get triggered. You're like, shit, this is so awkward. I feel like I'm almost like in a trance or something. It's the best time to sit and accept. Like, just to sit and accept. And I feel like more than anything, if there's anything that stage has ever taught me, it's about wearing your insecurities like armor. Like, if I had to be really, really honest, I am frightened to do this video right now. Like, there is no one in the audience, right? I am talking to a camera. This feels really lonely. Okay, and it just, I don't know who's going to watch this on the internet. What are people going to say? I'm so anxious, right? But the fact is, cool, I am. That's what it is. And all I can do is accept it. So yeah, the other thing is, you will be scared, right? But you will also have faith. So I am born in a Hindu family. I do believe in Jesus. My family is accepted, very beautiful about it. But it's obviously tension. But the one thing I've learned in life about faith, right, is that faith actually gives you a lot of protection. And think about this, right? I just think about life and that's the thing about, like, faith is a perspective. Right? It's about focus. It's about, if you focus more on the fear will grow. If you focus more on the faith will grow. But if you think about what faith gives you, is that perspective to think that so many things have worked out for you in life for you to be here, that doubt is abnormal, right? Like, I was really doubtful about this video. I'm still am while doing this. But knowing that I'm actually talking to a camera and recording, and I don't know where this will go. Right? This might do really well, this might not do really well, but the fact that there's faith to know that this is happening for me is a beautiful feeling, right? And I feel that's what faith gives you, right? And faith saves you from fear. Faith is the protection you need in life. Also, what faith does is, right, I think we all live in something called the seed stage, okay? And the seed stage is basically when, whether you have a project or an idea and it's in that interim, right, when you think it has the potential to grow, or, it's when you, as a person, right, you feel like, there's something happening on the inside, like you're changing, you're transforming, but people can't see it. I feel like we're all in that seed stage. And I think when you're in that seed stage, just knowing that you have the protection to grow and the provision to grow each day is what faith is. And I feel like that's the problem of a lot of people I meet every day. It's the lack of faith in anything, right? And I feel like if you get that, you'll pretty much get over fear, right? Because fear is always fun and it's always there. Like, you can get scared about anything right now. Think about it. Like, just think about, we all know what triggers us. You can do it like right now. So yeah, you will also cry a lot, but you will laugh about it. Think about every time you've cried. Think about 2 years ago when you cried about a breakup. It's hilarious now, right? I also feel like we really undermine crying. Like crying is such a beautiful feeling, right? Like it makes you feel so light. Like, you know, like your nose gets cleaned up. It's the best way to get a nose treatment done. You sleep better after it, you know, like your pillow gets a wash. Like crying is so beautiful. I don't know why we undermine it so much. I feel like you will cry a lot and then you will laugh about it. Don't see crying as a big thing. In fact, you know, applaud crying. Like there was this one time when I used to live in New York for a bit, and I realized I really wanted to cry because I was missing home. So what I did was that I wore a jacket, went to a beautiful park, sat on a bench full 1/3, so the frame was great. It was snowing, and then I cried. And that crying was so fulfilling because I was just like, wow, I made this entire mood around me to cry. I think you should try that next time you want to cry. Put on the fairy lights, put on some nice music, and get it out of yourself properly. And it'll be fun. Crying will be fun. You'll laugh about it that time actually because you'll realize how stupid this is. And the final thing is you will die alone. But who hasn't? Right? If you think about it, who's died? Like, is it more fun to die with people? Like, you know, you hear all those news, like 32 people died in a bus accident. Were they happy? Were they like, oh dude, at least this is happening together, right? At least we're together. I don't understand that. I think that's the thing about dying. It's not fun regardless, right? Like, I mean, you can, even when you're dying with people, you'll still be thinking about yourself, right? So I don't think we're really scared to die alone. I think we're really scared to be on our deathbed and not have people around to say, hey, don't die, no, we'll miss you. That's why I don't think it's so much about dying alone than having to live alone. So yeah, I think that's the thing. You are going to die alone. But you know the point of all of this that I'm saying, right, is that life isn't one, right? There is always a but, and buts are good, right? And I know one of my friends is going to like comment saying, hey, he said buts are good, but you know what I meant, right? Like there is, the but is always good. Like the duality of life is what makes life beautiful. Right? You can be this and that. Like, you know, every success story is a struggle story. Like you can be I'm a horrible person. I make some really dark and mean jokes. I have every terrorism joke, Islamophobia joke, every bad joke that you can think of. My brain thinks of it, but I also think I have a really nice heart. Right? And I don't feel like I want to hurt anyone with my intent or my words. You can be both. Like I'm saying, you can hurt someone and you know, feel bad about it. You can believe in God and question religion. I think once we accept the duality of life, right, like the line between good and bad and how things should be just fades, right? And that's what I think a lot is what stage teaches you. A lot is what, you know, creativity teaches you, because they are so agnostic to good and bad, right? They are just ideas that are born within you. See, I sound inspiring and I hate that. But you know what I mean, right? I think so. If there's anything you can take from this talk, it's about there is a duality to life, right? And all you need to believe in is that all these dualities are working for the greater good. And I think if you just wake up every day knowing that you have enough provision for the day and it's all happening for the greater good, right? You will know that yesterday didn't matter, tomorrow might matter, might not matter. And while life is not worth it, you'll find something to make it worth it. And while you'll fall, you know, it won't be final. While you'll be anxious, you know, you'll have acceptance. While you'll be scared, you'll also, you know, overcome. While you'll cry, you'll also laugh. And while you'll die alone, right, you know, you will also find a lot of meaningful relationships in your life. So yeah, I like the one thing I'm really sorry about is if I try to inspire you through this, because it really wasn't, right? So yeah. And the beautiful thing about this video is that no will mean next, right? And what I mean is that if this does well, great, right? 200 people might watch it on the internet, or you know, 2,000 people, or Ted will pick it up and say, dude, this is the best video ever made. Like any of those things will happen, but no will still mean next, and there will be another day, and nothing will be final. And I think that's the beautiful part about just, I think, existing. Yeah. And I just want to end this video saying something I've always wanted to say. You know, I've always said it on other occasions, but this is the perfect time to say it. I want to end it saying thanks for coming to my TED Talk.